I'd like to welcome you to the UCLA Global Citizens Fellowship Info Session. We appreciate you considering this program. My name is Chris Howell. I serve as the Employer Relations Manager for International and Experiential Opportunities at UCLA Career Center. During the program, the first thing I'm going to cover is the elements of your application to the Global Citizens Fellowship. Your application should include the application form, which is available on the Global Citizens Fellowship website, your resume or your CV, your UCLA transcript, the unofficial transcript, your project proposal, including your personal statement, a project budget that should cover all costs related to your GCF proposal, a letter of international affiliation with your sponsor organization in the country you hope to work, and a letter of recommendation from your GCF advisor should be a UCLA faculty member. Your application form is available on the Global Citizens website at globalcitizens.studentaffairs.ucla.edu/apply. There's a three-step application process. You can review the general information on the application, you can view this online information session video, and you can submit your application to My UCLA. Refer to the application guidelines, and we'll have a contact for any questions you may have at the end of this presentation. Your resume or your CV. What you want to do in applying for GCF is focus on relevant educational, leadership, and work-related experiences. I think for this particular program, it's important that you customize your resume to highlight any international experience, any relevant coursework, or anything else that would help you fulfill your project goals. You can refer to the UCLA Career Guide or meet with a Career Center counselor for advice on building your resume, CV, and your personal statement. Your unofficial UCLA transcript, that's available anytime at the registrar's office at Murphy Hall, room 1113. The link will tell you exactly how to obtain your unofficial transcript. Now we'll go over your project proposal, which is probably the most important part of your GCF application. First element of your project proposal is a personal statement. Your personal statement is your opportunity to communicate a clear sense of purpose and worldview that would support your success as a Global Citizens Fellow. You want to highlight your relevant knowledge and achievements, including previous experience with or in the country and culture, any existing relationship with an organization that you hope to work with, a relevant study or research, and your language skills. In your personal statement, you want to tell the audience who you are, not just what you've done, and answer the why questions. Why are you applying to this GCF fellowship, and why did you choose this particular project? What additional information supports the rest of your application should also be part of your personal statement. For your project proposal, the introduction, share a personal story or a public service experience and describe how it relates to your worldview and your sense of purpose. This is something that can be unique to you. It does not necessarily have to relate to an international experience, but something that you've experienced or learned that defines you as a person, that defines you as a professional, and has defined your public service perspective as you apply for the Global Citizens Fellowship. In terms of forming your personal statement, always helpful to write a first draft. Give yourself plenty of time to write and revise, and have it reviewed by faculty, friends, family, as well as the Career Center. You can always explain the personal statement's context so that whoever is reviewing it can evaluate it based on your intended goal. Consider everyone's input, weigh their suggestions, and make your own decisions about how the personal statement reflects your unique voice and your unique goals. Always make time to edit and rewrite your personal statement. Practice makes perfect. Your project proposal should also be sharing details about your international public service project that you hope to have the Global Citizens Fellowship support. You should always address the following topics. Give a project overview, talk about the goals, and your operational plan. Always present your rationale for proposing this particular country or destination. Relevant study of the country's culture, history, language, politics, anything that gives you an idea about how you would be participating in the community where you're working. Also mention key contacts that you have already established in the target community. And most importantly, perhaps, mention the local need and significance of the project. How the GCF project you'll be delivering will have an impact on the local community and address a local need. In your project proposal, you should also define your leadership role and involvement in this project, your local sponsor's role in the project, including their qualifications, their commitment, and their operational role. You want to mention your long-term and sustainable goals for the project, what impact you hope it will have. And lastly, how you will promote your achievements and global citizenship in general on your return to UCLA. In forming your project proposal, it's always helpful to refer to examples from previous successful Global Citizens Fellowship projects. The examples provided by other fellows are often helpful, especially for format and organization of your own proposal. That said, your proposal should reflect your own passion for the project and your personal communication style. Remember that the GCF board who will review your project values unique contributions, unique public service initiatives that reflect an unmet community need. Your specific plan to report the experience when you return to UCLA is a key to delivering a successful proposal. One of the goals of the Global Citizens Fellowship is that you inspire other Bruins to undertake similar projects. Your project budget. This is very important because this is basically showing the Global Citizens Fellowship Board, yourself, and your project partner that you've given a lot of thought to the actual operational and budget needs of this project. Again, referring to examples of previous successful GCF project budgets, and those are provided in our website, will be helpful in setting up the format for your own budget. The objective is to show that you've researched the cost and accounted for all the different expenses in your proposal. If you have a plan to rely on other funding sources, please note this in the budget that you submit with your Global Citizens Fellowship proposal. Your other funding sources will not affect the amount of your Global Citizens Fellowship award. Researching and selecting your sponsor organizations. Also very important because this is the organization that will support you in country by helping you establish local contacts with the community you hope to serve. When you're considering different locations for your Global Citizens Project, there are a few resources and a few ideas that you should consider when selecting your worksite and selecting the partner organization that you hope to work with. You can find many established international organizations involved in community service on the website idealist.org. When you're using Idealist, remember that you should look first at the organization section rather than the other sections that focus on volunteer and internship opportunities. You don't have to worry whether the organization has a current internship, for example. You're going to be approaching them directly to suggest a unique project that they may not have even considered before. You can also look to local non-governmental organizations known as NGOs, local government agencies, nonprofit volunteer and internship programs, faith communities with humanitarian projects, teach abroad opportunities, especially those in underserved communities, or UC Education Abroad Program internship sites. UCEAP in the last few years has listed more of their internship locations, which students often work in conjunction with their study abroad program. The local International Education Office here on the UCLA campus has a brochure that lists these opportunities. You can also find them on the EAP website. One special note about faith communities, most spiritual communities, whether it's a church, mosque, temple, or synagogue, will deliver community service projects and involve volunteers, but they do not require that their volunteers be of the same faith or any faith at all. They just look forward to partnering with people who have similar goals to deliver a viable community service project. Expanding your research, there are a few useful websites and resources that we'd like to share with you. You can certainly find others on your own. Oftentimes, it's also helpful to talk to a professor who has either worked in that area or done research, or whose field of study and research focuses on the area where you hope to work. Sometimes those professors and teaching assistants can have great contacts in the local community. Definitely look at the UCLA Global Citizens Fellowship website. Look at all the different project examples. Idealist.org is one that we've already mentioned. You can use Idealist to research potential partner organizations based on your target country or the area of service. For example, if you want to work with children, Idealist will help you focus on organizations that serve that community. A couple of other universities have outstanding programs which are compatible with the Global Citizens Fellowship, and these will also give you ideas about how to shape a project proposal. Claremont McKenna College has a number of sponsored international internship programs focused on community service, which you can review on the CMC website. The programs Princeton in Asia, Princeton in Africa, and Princeton in Latin America offer fellowships that focus on delivering public service abroad. That website can also give you some great ideas about what other ambitious students have delivered and proposed in terms of international public service. A final website for those who have an interest in public health or medicine is healthcarevolunteer.com. This has an extensive list of public health and medical service organizations and projects worldwide. You can use any of these websites as sort of the springboard or platform to contact organizations directly and let them know you may wish to partner as a Global Citizens Fellow. Now we'll move on to your application. Your application elements include a letter of affiliation or letter of international affiliation. What this letter achieves, it confirms that a host organization is willing to support your GCF project. It should be a firm commitment based on the proposal that you have shared with this organization. And the letter should document a formal working relationship with what we call a recognized organization in the host country. Recognized may mean that the organization has nonprofit status, that it affiliates with an established faith community, that is supported by an existing government agency, or that is supported by an international agency. The preference is to request the letter directly from the international organization, but in some cases it may be more feasible to contact the program's U.S. representative. Please see the sample template to get started on approaching international organizations and highlighting your application to the Global Citizens Fellowship. Now we'll talk about your faculty advisor. Your faculty advisor will be providing a recommendation letter that will help you affirm that you have a credible, solid plan for your Global Citizens Fellowship. To start off, what is often an effective approach is to write a letter inviting your professor's support and highlight the Global Citizens Fellowship's UCLA affiliation. Summarize your project proposal without taking too much time and offer to meet your potential faculty advisor to discuss a recommendation letter. This letter will confirm your professor's commitment to advise you both before, during, and after your project, and so that's important to communicate in advance. You want to keep copies of your correspondence with faculty because oftentimes letters of recommendation are the final element that you'll submit once you're invited to a GCF interview. Professors themselves may also address any questions to globalcitizens@saonet.ucla.edu. Finally, you're always welcome to contact us. Casey Bui is the program coordinator. You can reach her at globalcitizens@saonet.ucla.edu. Chris Howell is a partner in the program. Chris Howell can be reached at the Career Center at chowell@career.ucla.edu. We thank you for considering the Global Citizens Fellowship, and we look forward to seeing your great proposal.